Be it a Bigfoot, Sasquatch, or Yeti, they all may have survived through enough.
Just looking for something. What?
But at times, even they knowing or unknowingly happen to reveal their vulnerabilities to humans.
Oh, come on inside! Carly!
Stay tuned in to get to witness some of the most unexpected encounters that left everyone terrified.
Stop! Stop! Please, stop!
Get your camera. Come here.
A group of newbie hunters in Montana set out to track and hunt a deer. As they got into the thick of the woods, they spotted a giant furry animal that was surveilling them from the bushes.
I can't see it. Can you see it?
They panicked upon noticing it, being convinced it to be a bear. However, when this furry being, instead of getting aggressive towards them, it got up and quickly fled the scene, which made the young hunters realize that it wasn't a bear, rather a Bigfoot.
Oh, look at the size of that thing! Dude, that's not a bear. That's not.
One that got caught. We've encountered several close calls with mysterious creatures, and here's one of the most unforgettable. The footage revealed Bigfoot trapped in a cage beneath glaring lights, an image that initially seemed unbelievable. But as viewers focused on its fur, the intensity in its eyes, and its immense stature, it became clear that this wasn't a staged moment. This was real. An actual Bigfoot caught on camera, turning an exciting scene into a jaw-dropping moment of wonder and thrill. Can you imagine the shock and disbelief of that discovery? Stay tuned for more heart-pounding close encounters in the shadows. Touring Bigfoot sighting. Now, this wasn't some pre-planned tour, rather a coincidental development. While touring the scenic hills of Mission, BC, Canada, a visitor captured a puzzling video that has since sparked debate. Preferring to remain anonymous, the individual filmed what appeared to be a large figure moving in the distance. At first glance, it seemed like it could be a bear foraging, but the creature's movements and size left the group questioning otherwise. The tourists, visibly intrigued and a little shaken, were convinced they had just witnessed a Bigfoot. The encounter left them with more questions than answers. Encounter that went haywire.
Stop! Stop! Please, stop! Please!
Unlike most Bigfoot encounters that end up with one or the other fleeing, this one took the most unexpected twist. An inexperienced hunter, upon spotting a furry giant, mistook it to be a bear and happened to use his weapon. He did manage to injure what later revealed to be a Bigfoot, but instantly pissed of the Bigfoot enough that it came charging while huffing and puffing only inches away from resorting to any physical action.
It was an accident.
Bigfoot on break. Bigfoots normally are always spotted being on the move. This one, however, seemed to be taking a short break after a long day. Camera footage from December 2023 showed a large Bigfoot-like entity that was resting in a dense Canadian forest in British Columbia. Moments into the clip, the hairy giant gets up and starts plucking away several trees before it is known to disappear. According to the local who filmed the incident, that area had a fresh crime scene tape, which may or may not have any relevance to this resting giant. Bigfoots have never been known to make humans their prey, but this case could be a one-of-a-kind. Close marching. On June 7th, 2021, a dedicated Bigfoot hunter captured remarkable footage while concealed in the wilderness, hoping to document the elusive creature. After hours of waiting, he finally spotted one emerging from the dense tree line. The massive figure lingered partially visible for a few moments before casually walking past, mere feet from the hunter's hidden position. To avoid detection, he carefully maintained both his cover and scent, knowing the risks of being discovered. While Bigfoots are often regarded as patient and non-confrontational, encroaching on their privacy and personal space could provoke a dangerous reaction if their tolerance is tested. Thieving Sasquatch. Bigfoot or Sasquatch may have never resorted to being a threat, but stealing on the other hand. A small-town resident was out on a morning walk when he noticed two furry, tall, ape-like beings sneaking out in broad daylight. The man decided not only to record the incident on his camera, but also to use it to zoom in and see what they were up to. He soon discovered that one of them was stealing a chicken, while the other was on the lookout. Instead of feasting on their catch, they seemed to prefer getting out of Dodge first. Fleeing Bigfoot. A trail camera that was planted in a Michigan forest to monitor animal activity picked the sudden appearance of a Bigfoot that looked to be in a rush. The camera's owner was puzzled to discover that he caught a gentle giant that was up to no good. Either this furry giant of the legends is trying to flee, or just trying to avoid detection. Nonetheless, no one knows what exactly happened here. Furry mystery.
Just looking for something. What?
This recorder, who happened to be in the middle of a wooded area in an unknown location, had his paths crossed with a large furry creature or animal. Upon noticing it, he used his phone's camera to zoom in on the furry being to get more answers, instead of getting closer. Initial thoughts were that this could be a wolf or a small bear, but that didn't seem to be the case. Later, as the footage made it onto the internet, many started speculating that this could have been a baby Bigfoot.
Just looking for something. What?
Majestic giant. A small group of hikers were out on a trail somewhere in British Columbia, Canada, when they encountered the unexpected. A large, furry being appeared with who they almost had their paths crossed. The leading hiker, being terrified, turned around and fled. So did the Bigfoot, while one of the other hikers caught the entire incident on camera. Seconds into the encounter, the majestic giant appeared in the footage. Had it been some huge bear or dire wolf, things could have ended very tragically for these hikers. Indoor Sasquatch. Regardless of who might follow you indoors, the experience can be traumatizing. In this case, it was with a Sasquatch. An unknown source shared this footage on Instagram dating October 19th, 2023, and showing a large Sasquatch that was waiting outside the front door. The recorder, despite being shocked, didn't move a muscle to avoid any aggressive backlash from this unexpected visitor. The Sasquatch stood still, almost as if it were waiting for someone to come out, which, to the recorder's luck, wasn't the case. It is a good thing this guy was recording, otherwise, no one would have believed him. Surveilling Bigfoot.
Look at this guy.
Instead of confronting or running away, this one observed from a distance. A forest wanderer seemed to be following a trail of unfamiliar footprints in broad daylight until he spotted a Bigfoot that was watching him from not too far. It was well hidden among nature with only its face visible and its eyes on the bystander. Both maintained eye contact until the recorder slowly backed out and left. After all, you can never really judge how fast things can change in the wild.
Look at his big head, gray skin on the face.
Gentle giant hunting. If you have ever wondered what would a Bigfoot food chain look like, this is it. Two explorers who, while passing through a swampy forest in Florida, noticed a very large ape-like entity. It seemed to be catching a cottonmouth snake from the water, thrashing the catch against the trees, before moving away in the water with its prize in hand. The fact that Florida is notorious for its alligator-infested waters, there is no chance of this being a person in a suit swimming around. Aggressive Yeti. Do you know what's worse than being caught by surprise by a Yeti? It is having one accidentally stumble and crash down on top of you. In January 2023, in northern Russia, a small group of friends went camping in the wilderness. After setting up camp, they ventured out to collect firewood, only to return and find a massive, white-furred Yeti going through their things, likely looking for food. During the encounter, the Yeti accidentally sprayed itself in the eyes with pepper spray, causing it to panic and struggle. In its agitated state, the creature tripped and rolled down a hill, almost landing on the campers. Furry stalker. Looks like the Sasquatch and its kind are spread all around the world. A group of tourists in Pasbank, Holland, claimed to have spotted a juvenile Sasquatch that was spying on them from a few dozen meters away. At first, they heard a wild animal-like howling not too far from where they were, and within moments noticed the cheeky stalker behind a tree. It almost seemed to be behaving as if it were playing hide and seek. Instead of running away or ignoring it, this group decided to rush towards it, probably to get a good look at it, if not capture it.
Oh shit!
Large furry Bigfoot. This picture was taken by a TikTok in the woods of Canada in December 2022, after sighting a huge furry being with glowing eyes. Being caught in surprise, he even managed to record this video of something that looks quite like a Bigfoot, and he probably had the closest ever encounter with it. To the luck of the recorder, this huge animal, or Bigfoot, didn't show any signs of attack, despite having the element of surprise. Many speculated that it was a huge bear or a gorilla with overgrown fur, but the source said otherwise. Aggressive skunk ape. For the past few decades, Bigfoot has largely remained a background mystery, but that seems to be changing now. A camper, suspecting that he was being stalked by some creature or entity, decided to set up a trail camera on a tree near his campsite. To his astonishment, the camera captured footage of a Bigfoot lurking near the tree line next to his tent. The creature then began ripping apart nearby trees, with a few even knocking against his tent. Concerned for his safety, the camper chose to stay put. However, when he later attempted to confront the Bigfoot, the creature started throwing branches in his direction, seemingly to scare him away. Evil Hagrid. If the idea of Bigfoot isn't unsettling enough, the discovery of this sinister Evil Hagrid might be. A Bigfoot hunter was walking through the woods of Michigan hours after a Bigfoot sighting had been reported. As the search party explored the area, they noticed a large, dark figure with a visible face, featuring a massive beard and jet black hair. Unlike Bigfoot, this figure's body was less hairy and gave off a distinctly different, more ominous vibe. Interestingly, the creature bore a striking resemblance to the fictional character Hagrid from Harry Potter, but unlike the friendly giant from the books, this one did not appear welcoming or benevolent in any way. Napping Bigfoot baby.
Is that a bear? It's not living.
Either this was just a power nap or a case of a deeply hibernating little one. A hunter in Idaho wilderness who, while looking for a catch, discovered this tiny ape-like creature hugging a tree and looked to be quite inactive. Since gorillas or apes aren't known to exist, drew a possibility of this being a Bigfoot baby. The hunter got close enough to film the scene without interfering and shared it on the internet, showing the first ever Bigfoot to be seen in Idaho this close.
What is it?
Unusually aggressive. This footage from January 23, 2024 was shared by an unknown camper who was apparently being chased and sought after by an unusually aggressive Bigfoot. It can be seen creating havoc and tearing apart the vehicle just to get its hands on the recorder for reasons unknown. These incidents follow after the camper had gotten lost in an Oregon forest with his recreational vehicle, with decades worth of Bigfoot sightings made not just in the United States, but all over the planet. None of them have gotten anywhere close to being this aggressive. Surveilling Sasquatch. Even though the forest might seem to be where you can be alone, that is not always the case. Two hikers were on a trail deep in the Cascade Mountains of Washington State when they spotted this hairy, tall, ape-like creature that was briefly watching them. Now, despite the area having little to no ape population and being in hard-to-reach areas, the hikers couldn't shake the unsettling sensation that something or someone was observing them. As the feeling grew stronger, they decided to capture the moment on camera, unsure of what they might be capturing, but instinctively aware that something unusual was happening around them. Gentle giants lost patience. A Bigfoot expert and enthusiast who is keen on searching for Bigfoots only to get closer to them managed to trigger one of them. The footage dating to early September 2012 shows him rushing towards a Sasquatch who, instead of fleeing, comes face to face with the enthusiast. The light-haired entity aggressively lunged at the recorder before turning around to leave. According to the recorder, the sighting was made in San Antonio, Texas, and this confrontation wasn't as shocking or scary as it may seem to be, and he got away unscathed. Aged furry giant. A camper claimed that he discovered a hidden spot in the woods where a giant ape appeared, and he captured it on video. This video showed a close-up view of the creature that looks quite aged, almost as if it were the elderly of its kind trying to blend into the foliage. It had brownish hair, dark eyes, a human-like mouth, a large nose, and a defined bone structure. The video sparked curiosity, with some seeing it as possible evidence of the first ever old-aged Bigfoot sighting. Be sure to share with us your takedown in the comments. Napping giant disturbed. Instances such as these give out proof good enough to prove the actual presence of Bigfoot. This video that surfaced online in early October 2023 shows one of the clearest and closest Bigfoot sightings yet. The recorder managed to get very close to one who seemed to be taking an afternoon nap, only to misstep and unknowingly disturb its sleep. With the giant waking up and releasing that his presence was compromised, the recorder, fearing the unknown, fled the scene at the first clear sign of movement. Forest Giant's Den. Ever got the idea of following a Bigfoot and seeing where they live or come from? Well, so did this guy. An unknown recorder shared this footage on Instagram, which went viral soon after showing him following a Bigfoot somewhere in the deep forest of Michigan. In it, he could be seen following the forest giant until it made an entrance into a hidden in plain sight cave or den, only to disappear into the darkness. While most would be convinced this is its actual place of residence, others believe it could be a trap laid down for the recorder. Territorial backlash. Despite seeming to be mean brutes, these legends of the forest have never been territorial until this footage was shared. A recorder who happened to be heading to his remote cabin in the forest found himself in a territorial dispute with a Bigfoot. Despite both of them being more than a dozen meters away from each other, the Bigfoot resorted to throwing small pebbles and stones toward the man. Even though this forest giant seems to be the least aggressive, but this new behavior is one of its kind. Crossed path.
Come on inside! Carly!
The majority of Bigfoot encounters are a result of relentless hunting and pursuing. This one, however, was accidental. Two hunters in Montana woods were looking for deer when they unknowingly had their paths crossed with a giant Bigfoot. They got to have a good look at it, marching away before the Bigfoot eventually realized of their presence. Both weren't aware of each other's presence until they came quite close to each other due to the dense forest bushes. Seconds after both of them spot each other scattered in opposite directions. The fact that this Bigfoot was thick, it definitely could have been a traumatizing incident had it decided to get violent.
Come on inside! Carly!
Out on a walk. Next on the list is a video filmed by a hiker who was simply recording his walk through the Colorado wilderness when things took a surprising turn. A large, unidentified creature appeared for just a brief moment on camera. The hiker believed it was the legendary Bigfoot. While the creature's size and bipedal movement fit the classic Bigfoot description, the blurry footage offers no definitive proof, leaving the encounter open to interpretation. Mama Bigfoot. This footage making the rounds online seems to show an incredible moment deep in the woods. An alleged Bigfoot emerges from a cave, locks eyes with the camera, then quickly grabs its baby and vanishes into the trees. The creature appears fiercely protective as the young one clings tightly. The internet is divided with many claiming it could be a gorilla, when in fact, considering how it reacted seeing the record, that does not seem to be the case, as no gorilla would be so eager to hide itself. Howling loudmouths. The only living beings on land that are known to howl are wolves and Bigfoot. According to a Bigfoot hunter, this was to that of a Bigfoot. While transversing through the Sierra Nevada mountains, after dark, a Bigfoot hunter started recording this footage using a night vision camera after hearing the roars and howling. To get much closer to the source, he started to howl back in a similar tone. Interestingly, the howling loudmouth responded, but it changed its position to avoid being spotted. Mountain beast. Imagine setting up a trail camera to track wildlife on your property, only to capture something unexpected. Deep in the woods, near a hunter's blind, a massive, dark figure was spotted. Its large frame and thick fur instantly reminded viewers of the legendary Bigfoot. The video sparked a heated debate, with the hunter's refusal to disclose his exact location, adding fuel to the fire. Paranormal enthusiasts were quick to declare it as solid evidence of the elusive creature's existence. Yeti. A Yeti in the Pyrenees? That's enough to make anyone do a double take. What began as a ski vacation quickly turned into a potential Yeti sighting when two tourists captured something extraordinary on camera. A massive, humanoid figure calmly walking through the snowy landscape. The resort acted quickly, but their investigation turned up nothing. Did they truly find nothing, or are they hiding something more? Was it a real Yeti, an elaborate hoax, or something else entirely? Hilltop Sasquatch. A group of friends hiking through the woods had an eerie encounter that felt straight out of a nightmare. Upon reaching the peak of the trail, they spotted a figure standing tall. At first, it appeared human, but something felt off. Its size and movements were unlike anything human. The friends filmed the creature for about a minute, but then it disappeared without a trace. With Bigfoot legends often tied to remote areas, their minds raced. Could this be evidence of the elusive creature, or was it merely a trick of light and shadow? Background creeper. Next on the list is trail camera footage that has everyone on the internet talking. In the video, a construction vehicle is hard at work, but it's what's lurking in the background that has left viewers on edge. A shadowy figure can be seen hidden in the bushes, and if it were a gorilla, it would likely charge to assert its dominance. However, zoom in, and you'll spot a massive, dark, hairy creature watching the worker, completely unaware of its presence. The internet has erupted, with many claiming it's a Bigfoot. Some are convinced this is undeniable proof of the legendary creature. forest giant's head. This video created an online sensation featuring a man claiming to possess the head of a giant, hairy creature, spiking with everyone's attention.
So you can see, it's essentially a whole Sasquatch. It's a male Sasquatch, and we have the foot too.
Yes, the specimen is undeniably bizarre. A giant head covered all in hair with a giant nose, a mouth gaping open, a thick unibrow, oversized features, and an exposed spinal cord. It's a discovery that has sent shockwaves through the internet. It has even convinced many to believe it's irrefutable proof of the existence of creatures like Bigfoot or other unknown ape-like beings. With cold temperatures leave no doubt on how perfectly preserved this giant's head is.
Right here is the head of a female Sasquatch, and the reason why it is dissected like this is that animals are so huge, they're so massive, they couldn't get it out of the swamp.
Demon monkey, or Sasquatch? While setting up their equipment for a video shoot in a forest in Alberta, Canada, a camera crew spotted a spooky and unfriendly creature watching them from several meters away. The figure appeared oddly familiar, particularly to fans of Temple Run. Initially, it was speculated to be a Sasquatch, though its appearance was distinctly different. Once the footage was shared online, many Temple Run enthusiasts were quick to draw comparisons to the game's Demon Monkey, noting its striking resemblance. Furriest giant on camera. Even the most skilled hunters and trackers often pale in comparison to the instincts of the wilderness's elusive inhabitants. One hunter, who had strategically placed trail cameras throughout the area, was astonished when one of them captured footage of a towering, hairy figure. Believed to be a Sasquatch, the creature appeared to be trailing the hunter. Despite its immense size, strength, and uncanny ability to remain hidden, the Sasquatch seemed driven by curiosity, perhaps observing the hunter to understand his presence and intentions. Staring juvenile. Curiosity tends to get the better of all of us so much that we end up staring. This Bigfoot juvenile is no different. A small group of explorers in the forest somewhere in British Columbia, Canada, stopped this young furry ape that was staring at them from not too far with sheer curiosity. With little to no known ape species known to exist in that area, everyone was easily convinced that this most likely could be a juvenile of a Bigfoot, especially since it was trying to avoid being seen. Daydreaming giant. Unlike the gorilla or a bear, it is only the Bigfoot who is known to leave with this much peace quiet, and without making a scene. A group of hikers that were on a hiking trail through the forest discovered a giant furred being that was sitting idly under a few over a dozen meters away. Seconds into the clip, the giant casually gets up on its feet and walks away. With the encounter made whilst the sun was setting, the hikers were unsure as to what could be the exact nature of this giant. Bigfoot-looking witch. If there's anything more terrifying than the largest and most dangerous animal, it's this. In April 2013, a group of tourists was traveling through the Congo rainforest when they stumbled upon a massive creature that appeared to be a witch with the body of Bigfoot. The real rush of fear came when this enormous being noticed them, yet remained motionless. While the outcome of this encounter remains unknown, one can only imagine the terror of being pursued by such a creature. One of its kind. Either this is some Yeti that lost its way from the freezing, snowy mountains, or a case of an albino Sasquatch that we are getting to see. In 2011, a hiker in the Pennsylvania woods had a startling encounter that was captured on camera. While exploring the dense forest, the hiker briefly caught sight of an extraordinary creature, an albino Sasquatch. The footage, when played in slow motion, revealed a strikingly white figure standing out against the surrounding darkness. But why did it quickly retreat? In a world not yet ready to accept the existence of Sasquatch, the idea of an albino version only adds to the intrigue and excitement. Bigfoot corpse. Texas has a long history of Bigfoot legends, with reports of sightings dating back to the 1920s. However, the most significant claim emerged in 2012 when a self-proclaimed Bigfoot hunter revealed that he had captured a specimen in San Antonio. The footage showed the frozen body of an adult Bigfoot, measuring 8 feet tall, 4 feet wide, and weighing approximately 400 pounds. Brooding giant. Unlike most Bigfoot, this one seemed to be in an unpleasant mood. A brave farmer caught an amazing sight on video. A huge Bigfoot in the dried woodland field with sad body language. The video, zoomed in and made steady, shows this mysterious creature clearly. At first, Bigfoot seems to blend in with the trees, maybe noticing it was being filmed and using the forest as a hiding spot. Later, the video shows Bigfoot just wandering around the trees, not knowing someone was watching. Just when it gets really interesting, the video suddenly stops, and we don't get to see any more. Open discussion. This picture and video were taken on June 5th, 2024, showing the moment when a group of park rangers discovered a Bigfoot that was trapped underground. It was trapped in a frozen lake, which the park rangers, despite being fearful of it, proceeded to digging and bringing it out back to the surface. One of the park rangers shared that this same Bigfoot kept following them so much, so as if it wanted to thank them, but couldn't figure how to, as it made subtle appearances. Even though these beings are referred to as gentle giant, you can never really expect to be safe from having such a close encounter. Thank you very much for watching the video. Share in the comments, and do like the video and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.